Hello YouTubers. Today I'm going to do a little tutorial on how I make patchwork pockets for art journal pages. It all kind of came about when I was working on some blocks for a quilt that I'm working on. I gotta glue that down, I didn't notice that. And I had leftover pieces of 9 patches and other miscellaneous, and I thought, well, that might make a good pocket to go in the journal pages. So I slow stitched and glued it down, and yeah, can you see that? I really like the result. Making various styles of patchwork to go in your journals for pockets. So I have that one. There's another one that I did with the slow stitching, and this one is more, it's simpler, it doesn't have as much stitching, and this one's just on a plain piece of paper. And so I was doing those were like 9 patch, but then I had all these strips and I was like, wanted to try and do some more abstract, a little bit more abstract looking ones that are just strip piecing. So I started making these, and I had done a lot of these in this black and gray and white palette, and just playing around with different strips of fabric sewn together in different combinations to make these little patchwork. And with these abstract ones, you can kind of turn them any way you want, and they're really fun to do. And you're just, you know, sewing strips together and cutting them up and rearranging them. You're just using 1/4 inch seam allowance, and with this type of work you're not really matching corners up like you would be, say, on like a 9 patch where you're matching the corners. So if you're new to doing piecework and you don't want to tackle something like this where you have to line things up perfectly to start, this is a really good introduction to doing some piecework, because you're not having to line and match up points. It's just abstract. So I was on a, once you start making these, it's just like you kind of just can't stop. It's just like, oh, well, let's just make another one. They're so fun to make. And so I did this whole, these are smaller. I don't know if a card will fit in these or not. I'll have to check that out. But I made, this was some fabric that I had in a quilt that I was working on. So I did this whole black and white and gray. And then I had other pieces that I had done. These are smaller with a different palette, so these may or may not hold a card. So I still have to play around with that. So you can see those, and then let's see what else we got here. And then I did these with this green, brown, gold palette. And so I thought I might just make 1 or 2 today and show you how I do it. So usually what I do is I'll just start out and I'll just sew a bunch of strips together and make what, you know, what quilters call strip sets, but these are very just abstract. And then you can also do, you could do the 9 patch as well if you want to tackle that. Now there's 3 different ways to do 9 patch that I know of, and there may be even more, but I may do a separate video on the 3 different techniques I know for putting together 9 patch. That might be a separate video. Okay, so I've got these scraps or strips, and so basically what I do is after I get some strips, I'll just lay them out and play around with the different layouts of like how I want to do it. Maybe this set gets sewn to this set, etc. So I'll play around like that and just go through, and then maybe I'll actually even cut strips up smaller, which I think I'm going to do with this right now. So let me do that. Gives you a little bit more to work with. So I'll just take and trim some of these down smaller, and then you can flip them and turn them all different ways to. I'm going to just cut this down into an inch, and then maybe another one. Let's see if you can see what I'm doing here. Maybe make another one be 1.5 inches. Okay, cut some more up. Let me clean that edge up. This kind of wonky. Clean that up. Let's see here. I'll cut this one 1 inch. Maybe 2 inches, 1.5 inches. It's just random. Okay, so then you got stuff to work with. So let's see here. So let's see, if I started with this, then maybe you could take, and I like to flip them after it's cut. So like you could take, maybe have one up here, and also that, and then maybe have another one down here. Let's see what else I got. Try this one. That one's a little short. That one's short too. Let me try this again. Let's see what else we got here. A little bit more variety. So that's sewn to that, and that's sewn to that, and then I can trim it down. Maybe I'll try that. Okay. I'm going to go off camera for a minute and just sew 1/4 inch across here, and then I'll take this one and sew 1/4 inch across here, and I'll be right back. Okay, back. I just have my machine set up over here on the side, but I didn't want to have to move the camera, so all I did was sew that 1/4 inch and that 1/4 inch. So now this is all together now. And can you see it? Alright, so then I'm just going to trim that excess off, square it up a little bit. Tidy this edge up a little bit. So then, it's a pretty good size. I'm going to, I just fold the edge over to do this. And get my little roller. I'm going to use my glue stick. I'm just going to fold that over. Roller. Get a nice edge on that. Okay. And I'm going to do the same on the bottom. Okay. Like that. And then this is going to be a slimmer fold on this side because I have a slimmer piece right there. So maybe, yeah, that'll get folded in about 1/4 of an inch, like that. Now you could go ahead after you get these tacked down, you can stitch it in place too and go around with the top stitch, which I haven't done yet, but you could. Alright. I mean, whatever you want to do with these, it's just, you're just simple playing around with some patchwork, making some really simple little pockets. A little bit trickier to fold it in when it's 1/4 of an inch like that, but not too bad. Those seams. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Do this one. Maybe I will stitch around this one and see what it looks like. And you could stitch them down to your journal page too if you want. Whatever you want to do. I've just been gluing them down, but you could glue them and stitch them if you really want to make sure they're secure. Okay. Should probably have put my little featherweight machine on the table so I could have just slide it over and slide it back so I wouldn't have to go off camera. Maybe I'll do that next time. You guys can see my beautiful little featherweight in action. And then I put up a short today of my new Singer 99 that I got restored. That is, oh, it's gorgeous. Okay, so now there it is. Now let's see, let's take a card and see if we have enough room to where if we wanted to put a card in the pocket, I think it would fit. Okay, so now let's grab some pages. I like this calligraphy page with this. Like that. Now, when I glue these on, I'm going to use fabric tack because it holds really well and it doesn't check that. I just put some more glue in here because I had another bottle. I was just checking it. It's kind of messy. Yeah. And I find that whenever one bottle gets really low, I'll just transfer it into my newer bottle and see how it goes. Clean that off. So I'm just going to run a little bit of glue on these folded seams. I don't want to get into the part where it's not folded because it'll show through. Oop. So we can get that on there. Let's find where I want to put it on the page. And then I kind of hold this and kind of pull that edge up a little bit so it makes a little poofiness to get the card in. Okay. What do I do with that lid? Don't you hate when that happens, when the glue starts coming oozing up out of the tip on this? That's just a part of Fabri-Tac. You gotta learn to embrace it. Okay, so now let that sit for a minute. One patchwork pocket. Put it right there. Maybe while I'm here, we'll just look, see what we want to do. And glue on some more. I like that one. Let's see. Maybe this one. Yeah, like that. This one's nice and big, so it'll totally hold cards really well. Okay. Glue another one on while we're doing this. We're just having a little craft with me session. Get this glue on. Oh, strings. I love this glue, but it can be temperamental sometimes. Okay. Put this on. Ooh, I love that one. I love that black and white and gray with the Asian writing. Ooh, that looks good. Move that over here to dry. Okay. Let's maybe cut up some more, make some more. Oh, maybe I could put this 9 patch paired with some other stripes. That could be fun. Whew, got glue all over me. Alright. I like that. Just 1/4 of an inch if I sewed that together. I wonder what it would look like if I put stripes going down the side of that. Let's see what else I got. Kind of like that. What else do I have here? It's going to be too long. I'll just keep it simple. Maybe something like that. Make a long pocket maybe. I don't know. After this is folded in, I might need to add to this because I want it to be able to hold a card. So that's, jury's still out on that one. Let's see what else we got here. Maybe like that. Oh yeah, and I've got some ribbon. Sometimes I add ribbon to them. Let's see what I got. Like that. Something like that. Oh, I like that. Okay, so I'm going to put that on. Let me snip that. Okay. I like that on. I'm going to tack that down with the glue stick and then stitch it. Okay. And then I'm going to stitch these two together. I'm going to leave the camera. I'm just going to swirl over here to my machine and run a stitch real quick. Hang on. Okay. Stitch that to that. That looks good. Okay, I'm going to run a stitch down that real quick. Okay. Now that's secure. And I can trim it down. If I can find my ruler. What happened to it? There it is. There we go. Can't find anything. Everything's... There we go. I'm going to trim that down. Probably need to run over to the iron and press that real quick too after I cut this. Oh, wouldn't it be great if I had my sewing machine and my iron and everything right at the camera, but I don't have room for all that. Square this up. Well, that looks good. That'll make a good pocket. Okay, can I get away without pressing that? Maybe. Okay. Bit of glue. Okay. Another edge. Used to make art quilts, and I still have a lot of leftover scraps from that period in my life, and those would be, I should probably start digging through that old stuff to see if I've got anything. I'll work on some of these pockets. I do have a quilt that I'm working on that's going to be for me for my bed, that I just work on it every now and then when I get a chance, and that's when I was working on that's when I got the idea to try, and I was like, oh, I've got some leftover blocks, leftover stuff, so I could try to make some pockets to go in some journals, and that's how I got that idea going. This corner, I'm going to glue that and I need to trim that little corner piece. There we go. Okay, that one's done. But now you get the idea. It's just basic strip piecing, and maybe adding a little ribbon or do a little slow stitch, whatever you want to do. See how that one looks on that. I want something with a little bit more contrast. Let's see what we got here. How about this one? It's a tree turned sideways, which I kind of like that. So that one go there. I might stitch this one and then put it down. But you get the idea. So next video I might make showing you how to do different ways to do 9 patch, so you can make pockets that way. And yeah, so I'll get these all glued in probably and into the next journal. And I've got a bunch of flip throughs coming, and a bunch of journal covers that I'm making, so there'll be some more videos coming with that. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Catch you next time.